What is up, guys? Welcome back to Upstate Maverick. My name is Nick. Today we got quite a few different things going on. It's Saturday. Tomorrow's my birthday, so today's kind of been set aside for fun stuff that I want to do. One of the things on the list today is tackling building a DIY boom sprayer for the back of a side-by-side. Probably going to be a two-part series. I don't have all the parts yet. A couple things came in a little differently than I was expecting. Probably if I read the reviews or the description of the products, I would have known what I was missing. But nonetheless, we'll get as far as we can with that. So once I finally get the shop cleaned up, it'll be a lot easier for me to actually make these videos look a little nicer so I can actually roll the lights around and stuff. But right now, this is kind of the setup we got going on. So I'm using the Super Splits work table, outfeed table to kind of show you guys what I got going on. But you can see I got a couple of these barrels for free, these 55-gallon drums off of a construction site. They used to have glycol in them. I got them washed out. They were already pretty much washed out, but just decided to kind of wash them out. I'll bring you guys over here to really show you what I got going on. But in this box, I have a bunch of parts for the sprayer. So I wanted to use 3/4-inch electrical conduit for the boom. Just because it's readily available, super cheap, and easy for me to get. I'm using T-Jet spray nozzles. You guys will see that when I bring you over here. But according to their data sheet on their website, you want to have them spaced out 20 inches from, or the spray patterns will be roughly 20 inches if the nozzle is 20 inches off the ground. So if I plan to have this mounted on the back of a side-by-side, it'll be somewhere between 20 to 30 inches high. So I figured if I at least had these every 20 inches, there'd be enough overlap that I could get good coverage while driving along at a pretty good speed. So if I set the first one at 0 inches effectively, the next would be at 20, another one at 40, and one at 60. I'll have 4 spray nozzles across 60 inches or 5-foot post. So I haven't measured this yet, but this should be roughly about 5 foot, I would have to imagine. We're going to kind of piece together what I do have. Like I said, we're going to have to do a 2-part series probably because I do not have everything. So let's bring you guys over here to kind of show all the parts and pieces I've pieced together to build this. So here's kind of what we're working with. Number 1 ingredient, you got to have some coffee. Number 2, electrical conduit, 3/4 inch. And here's going to be obviously the heart of the system is this electrical pump. So this is a 12-volt pump made by Vevor. I think it was about $50 on Amazon. What I ended up purchasing along with it was one of these like cigarette lighter 12-volt PowerPoint adapters that has an SAE plug. So this pump comes with this SAE connection right on it. And then I'm basically just going to mate that up with this, get that really snugly in there. And I'm going to use my Blue Eddy solar generator basically to just plug this right in inside the cockpit with me, and then I'll have an on-off switch to turn the pump on and off. I don't have to do that. I could just turn it on, and probably what I will do is just turn it on. And this does have a regulator that will basically keep this at 70 PSI. That's how it comes out of the box. I'm going to probably turn this down because I don't need that much PSI out of these T-Jet spray nozzles. But it can go from, I believe, 40 all the way up to 100. Don't quote me. But it's about somewhere in there. So that's going to be the heart of this system. So this will end up being mounted right on top of the barrel. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do that yet. But we're basically going to try to build the boom today. And then we'll keep working on that. So what I don't have is these are 1/2-inch National Pipe Thread. National? NPT, whatever the N stands for. NPT threads, thread right on there, and then I have 3/8 inside diameter hose. So when you're buying hose, you kind of have to look out for making sure that the hose internal diameter is the right size you're looking for. What I didn't realize was that this pump was going to come with, it has that 1/2-inch NPT fitting, so it screws on there. Probably can't see that real well. But it has a 1/2-inch barb on the end, so this won't fit on there. So I already ordered them, but a 1/2-inch NPT to 3/8 barb so that this hose will fit over it. I bought this on Amazon as well. This hose is supposedly rated for 150 PSI, I believe. Yeah, 150 spray hose. So this is meant for sprayers, meant to have good pressure through it. So this pump's kind of not useful at the moment. I don't really have anything to hook up to this or to test it, but basically I'll just have one line dripped into the barrel, and then this will sit right on top, and then the other will come out to the spray boom. I'm also going to use a spray wand, so I'm going to have some valving and some T-fittings to kind of have a wand coming off the side. So it's going to be a pretty cool setup. Of course, you could buy something like this, and probably for the amount of money I have in this at this point, I probably should have just bought something, but I felt like I could build it for cheaper and use better quality parts than what I could buy for the same amount of price. So I already had kind of put these together. These T-Jet spray nozzles, basically they have a check valve inside them that after underneath 10 pounds of pressure, so basically once I shut this pump off, it won't be building pressure anymore. That pressure will bleed off until it's at 10 psi. Once it's at 10 psi, this check valve will close. This nozzle will stop dripping. These are pretty cool. They are expensive though. These are $10 a piece. Depending on where you buy them from, they could even be $12 to $13 a piece. I bought these all on spraysmarter.com. I'll put a link in the description because that really helped me. I watched another guy's video. I wish I could shout him out. I don't remember his name, but he had it all kind of linked up, and it really helped me kind of piece together what I wanted for this. But T-Jet, thankfully, makes these 3/4 inch clamps. So basically, I haven't even tried this yet, so you're kind of getting my first view. I will just use, you know, a regular number 2 Phillips and screw that on there. So if you noticed, I have a couple different styles here. Well, 2 styles. I have one with a single feed, so there's your barb that hose will slip over. And here is the double barb. So these, I have 2 of these and 2 of these. Basically, these will be the 2 middle ones. If you can kind of visualize with me, the hose will connect here to here, and then this hose will go over to the one that only has 1, and this hose will go over to the one that also only has 1. So these will be kind of set in the middle. Now, another oversight I had when purchasing these, just because there's no real good literature on this stuff, and it's kind of hard to keep figured out, but these T-Jet nozzles didn't come with the caps that actually hold them on. So this seats in there, and it will seat in there, but there's another piece that kind of holds it on there, and that's what these quick adapt grooves are for. So I have those on order. So I can't put the nozzles on yet, but basically these will all get mounted up. And these, I spent a lot of time reading through T-Jet. These T-Jet spray nozzles are designed to put out 0.4, I think it's 0.4 gallons per minute at 40 psi. I might be wrong on the psi rating, but somewhere between 0.3 to 0.5 gallons per minute out of each spray tip at, you know, whatever pump pressure I'm going to be running this at. I think it was 40 psi. So I got a 5.5 gallon per minute pump, and I have 4 nozzles. So this is able to supply 5.5 gallons. I'm only going to have 4 nozzles, which at the most will be putting out 2 gallons. So let's just round up and say it's half a gallon per minute. I'll have 4 of these times half a gallon. That's 2 gallons per minute. So this is oversized. But the one that was 3.5 gallons per minute was more expensive and back ordered. So I figured I'd just buy this one, and we'll just see what happens. Especially if I want to use a spray wand, that'll help me so I have some more volume. And I'm really excited to see the capabilities of this because I feel like I could make some cool like off-grid showers and stuff like that at our, you know, our family land. So anyways, I think I'm going to probably just start putting stuff together, maybe pause to talk about what I'm doing, but the plan is to just kind of zip tie the pieces on here, screw the clamps on. I have some specialty adapters from Maker Pipe that I'm going to probably put some nice end caps on this just to keep this looking nice and make this kind of a nicer unit so that this really looks like I actually, you know, put some effort into it. And my plan is to spray roughly 2 to 3 acres, so I needed a bigger gallon or a bigger capacity tank than what a lot of these sprayers are. So that was why I went with the 55-gallon drum, and they're just cheap, and well, I got that for free, so it was free $99 to me, so it wasn't even a big deal. So let's just start piecing stuff together, kind of see how it goes. I can't stand trying to work on this, so we are going to tackle cleaning off the workbench probably just set up a time lapse. And I'm just going to shuffle stuff around. I'm not going to put everything where it needs to be. But I need a workbench, so let's just hop on that real quick. Got these big speakers for free from my papa when I helped them move their freezers up from their basement. I kind of figured they'd be a good addition to the shop, but they're a little cumbersome. I got to find a good place to mount them and get them up off the floor. I already have some really nice speakers that he gave me a while ago, years ago actually, but they're really nice, so I kind of would like those in the house. This doesn't need to be perfect. We're just carving out a hole that I can work in for the day. So just gonna kind of shove stuff around. You might see a lot of future projects here. Let's just get this kind of shoved out of our way. Something you might have just seen was this, I use these to hang up bird feeders, but this was all bent. I dropped a log on it. So let me try to bend this back real quick before I already put it in the vise. I might as well try to get it fixed up, but let's get the pack out stuff put back under the bench. That pushed out of the way. So I think if I tighten these down, I'll give you a little light. This is an awesome update for this bench vise. These are really cheap from Harbor Freight, and you can just leave it on the anvil and just make sure you shut it off because that end light turns on. But I just want to get this bent back. I think this probably isn't the best way to do this. I'm going to have to almost separate it a little bit. Just put it right on the bent point. And use the leverage. There we go. It's going to be a little squirrely cube. I just need it to stand up straight. I don't care if it's a little bent. Got a lot of birds here from the park. There's just a bit, I got about 600 acres of woods behind my house, so there is quite a bit going on back there. A lot of wildlife. Bears and raccoons and skunks and fox. This thing is all jacked up. That's what I get for dropping a log on it, though. All right, so that'll work. All right, now we got a workspace. Let's bring all this stuff over here and get to work. That's not cheesy at all. All right, we're at the workbench. This might start to look like an authentic In the Shop with Nick Wolfer video here, so if you're subscribed for that reason, here it is. I don't know if I've ever showed these on a video, but these are Tekton side cutters. These are awesome. They're a little rusty, just from probably being left on the floor because I'm just the worst, but these are really good. I'm actually a big fan of them, and I would recommend them to anybody trying to be on a budget. A lot of the Tekton tools, I know they're getting more expensive, probably because of YouTube, but they really are great tools. So let's just kind of get a visualization. I got to get a tape measure and just check to make sure this pole is going to be the right length. The classic Stanley FatMax, simply the best tape measure there is. All right. What did I leave myself? This is exactly 5 foot, right on the dot. So I don't even need to cut this again. So what we're gonna do, I just wanna get this in frame for you guys, but what we're gonna do is just put some little Sharpie marks at 20-inch increments just to make sure that we get these lined up. Milwaukee Inksol, also my favorite. So obviously the first one's going to be right at the end. Next one we're going to put at 20 inches. This will be covered, so don't have to worry about it looking nice. And whoop. I set myself up on the workbench and I still have a hard time. 40-inch. Okay, so I'm not sure that these are going to clamp down tight enough. I don't know if these are meant to be on conduit or if they're meant to be on some other kind of pipe. So let's just kind of get an idea. I never have use for these number 3 Phillips, but this actually seems to fit in here quite nicely. So maybe these are number 3 Phillips. But anyways, this is an end piece, so we don't want to put that on first because we want to be able to just slide these in. Let me just show how these work because I didn't, because I already set them up. But basically, this comes completely apart, and I think I'm going to want all the Phillips facing up. So the way I have it oriented is how it's going to be. But there's 2 cutout pieces on each one, and they both just kind of slide together, mate together. And if you see, this has kind of got a nice square indent around it. These just ride right in. That's exactly what it's designed for, is to just slide together like that, and then it's captured at the top there. So slide this through here. Just since I am working from left to right, I'm just gonna slide it all the way to this end. I don't know why I didn't just slide it the short way, but let's just see if it'll fit on here. So I have a couple ideas if we need to kind of beef this up a little bit, but let's just see what happens when I tighten this all the way down, if it is tightly on there or not. Yeah, that's kind of what I suspected. So that could still sloppily slide around there. But that's okay. We're just going to use a couple pieces of bike inner tube just to beef it up a little bit. I don't know if you guys have ever seen these before, but I know these as Ranger bands. I don't know what everybody else calls them, but basically I bought like a $2 inner tube, mountain bike tire inner tube, so it's kind of round. And then I just cut it into little rubber bands, and these are super strong. This is what I use to keep all of my tie-down ratchet straps kind of banded together. I use these for all kinds of things. So what I think I'm going to do here is just slide these over and just kind of clamp down hard on a couple of them. And I think that should give me enough grip inside there. So I'm going to use some fresh ones. I got this baggie. I've had this for like 3 years and hardly even made a dent in it. So I really recommend this. This is a great idea, and it's great if you have a shop. You find all kinds of uses for them. Now obviously these are not the same dimension as this pipe or this clamp, but I think it'll crush down and hold it tightly in there just fine. I've changed my mind. I'm going to wrap this in electrical tape because I know it'll be a lot easier and it'll work just the same. So let me put these back. But still, if you didn't know about those, check those out. Just make them. I don't know if they're called, coined Ranger bands, but they sure work awesome. Okay, so to make this easy, I'm just going to do this right on top of my Sharpie mark. And I'm just going to bulk this up just a little bit. Let's just take that off so I can just spin this around. Bumping the camera. All right, let's try that, see if that's going to be thick enough. Kind of slide these over. Oh yeah, that'll be plenty. It's probably too thick, honestly. Save myself a little tape next time around. Loosen that up just a smidge. I think I made it too tight. Less wraps next time. That'll work good, and it covers it so you can't even tell it's there, which is just great. Just want to make sure these are lined up. So you can see that gap there was kind of misaligned. Now I got these pressed together nicely. Just going to crank down on this, get these nice and tight. And that is not going anywhere at all, and that sits in there really firm. So I'm going to get all these mounted up. I'll kind of show you guys the end result, and then we'll get the hoses set up through there. Just cranking along here, not even paying attention. I got to make sure that these are lined up. I had the one like 90 degrees turned. So I'm feeling super pleased with this. I got these all 4 mounted on here. Might just have to do a little finagling just to get them all completely straight. You can see that that one is slightly cockeyed, that middle one, but I'll get them all worked out. But I'm gonna now cut the hose, get the hose spliced in, put the hose clamps on, and that might be all we got for time today for this video. But I'm really liking how this is looking, and I feel like this is gonna be super sturdy and just an awesome build. So I stopped at Harbor Freight on my way home from work yesterday, just thinking I could probably get these hose clamps really cheap. And this is a lot cheaper than even Amazon had them. So, you know, obviously the quality is probably not the best. We'll see how they hold up. But looking forward to trying these. I mean, this was $6.99 for 40 hose clamps. And I don't even care if I have to run them in really tight and cut the band off, you know, part of them. There's more than enough. I think I'm going to end up using these 3/4 inch size ones. And just, you know, clamp the hoses onto the barbs just to be extra sure that they're nice and snug. But this gave me a chance to use a couple new tools I was gifted for Christmas, and I'm looking forward to it. So my girlfriend had gotten me these long reach nut drivers, 1/4 inch and 5/16 from Klein for Christmas. These are stocking stuffers. So I haven't got a chance to use them. Obviously I don't need long reach right now, but just give a chance to use them. They got nice small handles, so it's kind of nice. I'll probably just go through the first one with you guys and then just time lapse the rest. Just want to make sure I get the right size hose clamp on this one. You can see a 3/4 mark written right on there. I'm going to just make sure I slip this over the hose before I try to put the hose on. So it slides over the hose just like so. I want this all facing up, so we're going to do it like that. Slide this over the barb. Work it all the way in, and we're just going to tighten that clamp right there. This is a 5/16 nut on here. I think these should hold pretty well without having hose clamps on there, but just want this to be a real skookum build, so that's what we're doing. Get that tightened down on there. I don't think it has to be ridiculously tight, but something like that. Bend that tail over, and that is going absolutely nowhere. So now we'll just have to back you guys up a little bit. We'll just have to measure this length. We're going to end up throwing a zip tie or two right there and cut that right where it's going to slide onto there. All right, so let's get this. We want to leave just a tiny bit extra so we make sure we get over the barb fine. So right about there, gonna take a little chomp out of it, and I think I'll just come back from the other side. Stuff like that makes me nervous. I hate cutting stuff. You slide that over. And of course, if you're watching from home, you're probably yelling at me that I didn't put my hose clamps on. So let's slide that back off. Oh yeah, that's pretty tight on there anyways. Well, I don't think I had to worry about that coming off anyhow, but got another 3/4 inch. Another 3/4 inch clamp. Slide this over. Make sure the connection's up. Not like that. That's how that was. All right. Now we're in. We'll stretch that so that it looks the same. 5/16 nut driver. It's all about making sure you do everything in the right order with these things, you know. You don't want to have to go back and do stuff over 15 times when you're doing repetitive stuff like this. So I'm going to get this close to snug like that, and then I'm just going to stretch the hose so it's all the way over. Just like that. Really tighten down on this. Bend the tail. I think that looks really nice. So that's kind of one. We're just going to throw a couple zip ties on, just a couple black zip ties. We'll probably make these all try to look roughly the same. So, you know, if you notice, I always try to index them all the same way. So that square facing forward. Just do something like that. Space it out enough so you're not putting strain on it that way. Something like that. And that's going to look nice. I think I'm going to try to hide that. Not hide it, but have that square piece right on the hose. So it's just like that. So now let's get that nice and tight. I think it's important to try to do things to the best of your ability when you're doing them. I got a couple flush cuts here, so just taking the time to use flush cuts so you don't cut yourself the next time you're handling this thing, instead of just using your side cutters and you leave that sharp little piece on there. I don't know, tell me, what do you guys think? I think that looks really nice, and I think it's going to work super well. So I'm going to finish putting all these hose sections on. I'm not going to put one here because what I'm going to need, I don't know how well you guys can see that. I'm bring it over here. What I'm going to need is a T-fitting that comes up here to run this hose up to the tank, if you can picture that. So I'm not going to put a piece in here, so I really just need one more over on that side. And then, you know, just an idea of how big this will be. And then we'll have a hose running up to the 55-gallon drum, and then off of the drum, we will have a spray wand as well. So it's actually coming together really, really nice. So I got that last hose done. Just kind of want to give you a visual of what this is going to look like. It'll be riding on like the tailgate of the side-by-side just like this. I'm actually really happy with this. I think it's going to come together super nice and be a robust thing that kind of lasts me a long time. I do have a couple things to spruce this up. Maybe I'll just throw those on there real quick. Let's do that actually now. So one more thing I have that's kind of cool that I just want to show you guys is these parts from Maker Pipe. It's this brand, online brand. They have a lot of really cool videos, but they basically made all these cool connectors for using EMT conduit, you know, angle kits, T-bars, all kinds of stuff. So you'll probably see me implement just a couple of these in this build here, but I just kind of have a Harbor Freight storage box with a bunch of those in it. But what they do make is these little plastic caps that go over the ends of conduit. So I'm just going to put these on. Maybe just for style points, if anything, but I'm just going to slide these in here. I mean, nothing super exciting there, but you can't even see them out of the shot. But I'll just kind of push that in. And it just kind of gives it more of a legitimate look. And it'll help keep bees from deciding to nest in there while I'm driving around. So that'll be kind of nice. But two little caps, seal off. Those two little caps just kind of seal it off. So while we wrap up this part of the video, I just kind of want to give you guys a visual of what this whole deal is going to look like. So I'm going to have basically this pump ride on top of here, and I'll show you how that's going to work in probably a future video. But this PowerPoint adapter will just kind of thread up through into the cab where I'm sitting, you know, driving the actual machine. So you'll see that there. And then this hose will have a T-fitting here. I got this backwards. A T-fitting that comes up here, runs up, and is attached right onto the pump. And this will ride, you know, on the tailgate of the machine. I'm really happy with this. I think we're going to have amazing coverage with it. I need to keep, you know, about 7 foot of the trail cleaned off. So if this is a 5-foot span, plus you have 20 inches of spray width, so 10 inches on either end, that's 80 inches of spray coverage. So you're just shy of 7 feet. And if I don't mount this exactly 20 inches off the ground, it's a little higher, then that spray width will be even further. So this is going to come together really nice. I'm happy with it so far. Tune in for the next part of this series. I know this video is kind of long, and we'll kind of keep rocking once the rest of the parts come in. So thanks for watching. Consider subscribing, like, comment, trying to grow the channel, trying to be more consistent. I'm investing with equipment and tripods, and eventually would like to really get a camera. It'd be a lot more helpful if I had some kind of flip out screen. So all of your support does help this channel get better. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.